hello. Come say hi. Who's here? Happy Sunday. Oh, hello, Tracy. Hello, Remy. Yes, this time you are second. Tracy beat you to it. How is everyone doing? How was your week? Yes, don't forget to do a thumbs up. So tonight I'm actually doing self-care at the same time as doing a live. So I have beautiful candle going. It is pear and cinnamon. And I have a water with a piece of lemon. Hello, hello. Hello, Karen. The week was awesome. Okay, so for Remy, the week was awesome. For Tracy, the week was long. I find the week went by so fast. Oh no, I saw that. You were telling in the group, like I've been like super duper busy this weekend. I did not see the weekend pass. I saw that you were experiencing power outage. Hello, Karen. How was your tomato live? Well, I popped on. You were talking about tomatoes. That sucks. So yesterday, so today was Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday. So Saturday, no, let me rewind. Friday, I had a dentist appointment with Emilia. I had to do groceries. They came back home. And then I started, when you start a project in the middle of a project, so you're doing something and then you find something else and you embark on this journey, optimist journey, unrealistic journey, and you find certain things. So I was doing multiple things at the same time, found some chickens in my freezers that needed to pass because they were starting to get freezer burn. I did not want to waste that meat, so thawed those, cooked those, made broth, strained broth, canned the chicken in broth. Then found, I ordered with my Lufa Farm order, I found beets, and they needed to be cooked either to eat in a beet salad or pickled, fridge pickles. So started going through that. It was 2 pounds or 3 pounds of beets, had to deal with that. So boil them, cook them, and then left them in the fridge. Today I've put them into pickling liquid. And then I forgot that I ordered one bag of yellow and one bag of red. So today I had to process the yellow ones. So that is done as well, yellow beets. And then I also did my spaghetti sauce canning video that I published, I think it was on Friday. So I had 7 1-liter jars and I had 4 pints that I needed to can also. So I canned that also on Saturday. I had a Zoom meeting at 12 that lasted an hour. And in the midst of all of that, my husband was building canning shelves for me for my canning jars. And then after my Zoom call, I ate like a quick lunch and went downstairs, took the jars that are, I don't know if you guys that are here saw the pantry tours that I do. Most of my canning jars are in my staircase to go downstairs. So I took most of those, and I brought them downstairs. They were in a cooler environment during the winter, so it's ideal. In the summer, I will probably have to condemn the windows so that there's no heat or figure something out. So he built me 4 shelves that are 8 feet long, and there is an average of 70 to 100 jars per shelf average that I can put. So I started taking down all my tomato products, well, most of them, they're downstairs. All my pickling stuff is downstairs, my beans. So I might do, I don't know if this interests anyone. It's not completely finished. There's still tweaking to be done. But should I wait that I'm totally finished to make like a new canning jar pantry tour? Because usually I only do one in September and one in, I think it's in early, just before the season. So each shelf is braced, but we still have bracing to do. Yes, definitely. We did back support, but now we need to do lips, in case there's like earthquakes or whatever. So we have to do the lips for it not to fall on the back, fall on the front, fall on the sides. And I want him to do front bracing as well, because they're like my precious jars. I would not want them to crack on the floor, because it is in, I don't have a basement. It's a crawl space or unfinished basement that's on rocks. So if they fall on the rocks, they will shatter in like cajillion pieces, and I will cry for months probably. So we did that, and then, oh, I forgot. In the midst of that, I actually thawed some meat. Also found a piece of pork that was in my chicken freezer. Have no idea what I was doing there. So I thawed that on Friday, and on Saturday morning, first thing I did before doing all of that is I prepared a crock pot meal. That was just Saturday. Sunday, today I took like the morning like super, super, super easy. And then we decided to do like 4 or 5 loads of laundry, fold clothes, and pass the broom, vacuum, replace everything. And I sat down after dinner. I was like, oh my God, tomorrow's Monday. Already. So the weekend flew by so fast for me. Okay, so yesterday yesterday it was a planned one, but today not sure. I think today was sort of a plan, but they didn't tell us. That sucks. Hello, Marilyn. So I'm going to wait for him to complete the front part, the lip and the front bracing, before I get told by the entire internet that my shelves are not secure. They are. They just need just the front bracing. And we're going to do 2 instead of 1. So instead of doing in the middle, we're going to do 1 at 2 feet. Anyways, I'll show you all that goodness downstairs. Husband worked really hard on that. You don't want us to wait that long. You did not even show us the... No, I did not show you the butler's room. The pantry, I updated. I could do that. Let me write this down. So, butler's pantry, 2, I think it's like 6.0 by now, but I can do that. The main reason why I'm not showing the pantry is because I don't... Okay, so I removed the Costco shelving and we installed something there that is much more pretty. But I don't like the way that I'm storing stuff right now. I don't find it ideal. So I want to figure out what's wrong with my design. And I can't seem to bring myself to choose a design to get it done. But I will definitely add it, because on my last video, the first minute of the video, I actually asked for content and you guys just gave me 2 ideas. So downstairs pantry. There's a lot of work to get done as well, because the owner prior that lived here left us beautiful gifts downstairs, and the windows to throw out the stuff out of the house is way too small. So we are filling garbage bags, and so we fill the garbage bag. It's in a crawl space. It's 4 feet tall. So you're always like this. You fill the bags, and after an hour, your back is dying. And last weekend we filled 10 bags, and we need to bring them upstairs. So from one part of the house, we need to crawl all the way down to the stairs, bring them up, and then bring them outside. And it's our big trash, I think, in 2 weeks, middle of the month. So we're going to do that. So we did the pantry, but there's like boatloads. Well, no, sorry, the canning pantry downstairs, but there's like a boatload of bags behind it that we need to bring upstairs. So, but I saw a post today and it made me laugh. I don't know if I still have it because it is like 100% accurate. It says, if you want, where is it? If you want to have like 83 unfinished projects going on, start homesteading or something like that, something around those lines. Let me see if I can find it. Anyways, no, I can't find it. It's probably gone, like way gone. But I kind of find it accurate. Like you start a project and then another one pops up, another one pops up. Somewhat what happened to me on Friday. Like I did the groceries, found some stuff, had to deal with some stuff, and then the chicken, the canning, blah 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 blah. So I still have actually one recipe to can tomorrow. So I love hot chicken. Hot chicken. I don't know if that's how you guys say in English. A chicken. It's like a gravy sauce that you add to chicken and put on a slice of bread. I hate buying that at the store because now they're like $1 on special. They're $1.99, I think, and it just bugs the hell out of me. And the ingredients are like somewhat not the ones that I would want, and the powdered version is even worse for me. The ingredients, some of it Fred can't even eat. So I was thinking to well, first I need to check if every ingredient that is in my recipe, if it's safe for canning. And then I think I'm going to do like a brown sauce base. And then the only thing I have to do is do a roux. So flour and butter, add that, mix it, and have a hot chicken poutine sauce, really express. But I need to verify there's one ingredient I'm not sure if I can pressure can it. So that's what I'll be doing probably tomorrow. So counting half, I think I have 8 liters or 7 liters of broth, of chicken broth. And while I was doing my chicken clean out of, like I was rotating my stuff in my freezer, I found some pork bones that I requested from the butcher when he processed my pork. And I found some beef bones also. And I found some corn cobs that are frozen as well. So broth, I could probably do like all these broth in like a week or so, 10 days, and like pressure can all of it because I was sort of running low on jars. But since I've stopped canning and I've been like doing this challenge, using at least 1 jar a day or something in my freezers, my jar inventory has been going up. So I would be able to can all the broth I want. And now that I have more space, I kind of want to fill it. And not only that, I asked for 1 shelf, and my husband bought the material. He's just missing 1 sheet of aspenite. I don't know how you guys call it. It's like what he uses to do the shelf. So he just needs to go buy 1 more, and I think 3 2x3s, and he says he's going to do another one. So my shelves are 8 feet long by 2 feet deep, probably by 4 feet tall. And he says he wants to do another one, 6 feet long, 2 feet deep, 4 feet tall. So I'm like, ooh, that could be fun. Treat, super treat. So that means I'll be able to fill more jars. I can hear like the little devil on my shoulder and the little angel saying, you need time to sleep. And this one says, who needs sleep? You can. They're like telling me multiple things at the same time. Um, um, you want us to wait that long? You did not. Hello, Fox. So I'm being a tease right now. I'm so sorry. Well, you need people shorter than 4 feet to do that. Yeah. Okay. So what we did last weekend. Okay. So there's many ways to raise children. Some people actually will tell me that it's child labor, and I'm like the worst mom, and other people will praise me to do this. So we decided if the kids would give us 15 minutes per hour for a certain amount of time, because it is my daughter is scared of spiders just like mom, and it's not that enjoyable downstairs. So they gave us an hour downstairs, and then it started becoming chaos. So I told them, go upstairs, go play. Me and Dad's going to continue, and when we call you, give us another 15 minutes. And then when chaos was starting again, they would go back for snacks, play. My husband found a used Wii with like a loads games, and we told him, go play Wii, and we'll call you back and you'll give us another 15 minutes. If you collaborate somewhat, we're going to go and order Chinese takeout. They've been bugging us for like ever for Chinese takeout, and that's what we did. So we paid them somewhat to help us, and it was so worth it. If I've missed anyone, no worries, no worries. Howdy, hello. Haven't seen you in a while. Yes, hot chicken sandwich. So I've canned chicken in broth this year. Usually I can chicken either raw pack or in liquid, never in broth. So I wanted to try something with that. So, when you do like chicken salad, like you have like a romaine salad and you just take that, you keep the broth for like a soup or something like that, or to make sandwiches. So you make chicken salad and you put it in sandwiches. So I'm kind of thinking that the broth will give somewhat taste, somewhat like when you do tuna sandwiches, like tuna salad, and then you put in a sandwich. I want to try that. So I've canned that. And also when I do, I'm out of that, but normally I have express chicken soup that's already made with celery, carrots, and chicken, and herbs, onions, garlic, and all of that. But I wanted to have like the option of taking 1 jar of chicken broth, 1 jar of chicken in broth, mix all of that, and then just add other ingredients and have that as a base also. So I tried different ways of pressure canning chicken. I'm actually out of raw pack. I normally can a lot of thighs without bones and breast without bones, and I'm literally out. So that means I have to thaw out some chicken, process it, like remove the breast, the thighs, debone them, and pressure can them. Or if I can find a good deal on pasture raised chicken, might do that because it is time consuming. I think they don't know hot chicken out of Quebec, near Quebec. Okay, so hot chicken sandwich is a piece of bread, warm chicken, could be brown, could be white, mix of both. So you put like a gravy type of sauce that's warm on that chicken. You put another slice of bread. So if you're on a gluten-free diet or like zero carbs, I'm not sure how you can eat hot chicken sandwich. But anyways, and then on top of that, you like pour loads of gravy again, and you serve it with peas. That's a very traditional 100% carbs meal with a bit of protein. I would love a recipe like that for the same foods. Okay, so I'm kind of behind with comments. Are you talking about the gravy sauce that I wanted to can? Yes, poutine. We made you discover poutine last year, but in Quebec, the poutine. Oh God, It's like really, really, really super tasty. Yes, it's a dinner food since 1970 at least. Okay. Okay, so some of you know what hot chicken sandwich is, right? I talk about hot rabbit, hot chicken, but with rabbit. Once another group, and they never heard of that. So I thought, okay, well, I think it's a local meal, like a more traditional Quebec meal, but I'm sure that other cultures do something similar. I prefer doing it with chicken. I think I tried it with rabbit. I think so. But if I have to choose, I definitely go with dark meat. But I try to teach my kids not to waste too much food and to eat the whole chicken as much as possible. So when I process and like cook my chicken, I don't put white, brown. I don't separate. I just mix everything up, and like everyone gets a bit of everything. Okay, my hubby made saucisse et carotte. I miss having. There's one meal that I really, really love to do, but I can't seem to find sausages that does not contain certain ingredients. Costco used to have one that we really, really enjoy. Now they no longer have it. I take a pan 9x13 out, put a bit of avocado oil, and I just go through my fridge, every single vegetable that looks like I'm going to waste it very soon. I put it in there. So cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, zucchini, carrots, potatoes, turnips. What else did I put once? Sweet potato. Everything that's kind of crunchy. And I mix it with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, turmeric, garlic powder, onion powder. When I used to have like sweet pepper flakes from the garden, I would also put that, like to give like this kind of like little red dots a little bit. And then I would mix in my favorite, either Italian sausage or honey garlic. I would mix all that, and I would bake it in the oven and just serve it as is. But I haven't found good honey garlic sausages that I like. The only place that we enjoy the sausages was from Costco, but they're out. So when I asked the butcher there, he says it's a seasonal sausage now. So they always have mild Italian, but the mild is still somewhat spicy, so my kids won't eat it. And the last time I went, I think it was like a German style, very basic, like not that flavorful. So I do miss sausages, like on the grill. They're like just. He also calls it des saucisses pis des carottes. Cute. Well, my grandpa made me a cabin with mashed potatoes and carrots, and put hot dog sausages and bologna as. I'm not sure I understand. Okay. Oh, sorry. Well, my grandpa made me a cabin with mashed potatoes and carrots, put hot dog. Oh, so he made like a statue of food. Bologna as windows. Lots of imagination. It's breakfast sausage. Yes, so breakfast sausage. There is a brand that I used to find at Walmart. I have to go because I did sign up for a challenge that is organized by Lynn from Bucket List Homestead. It's in February, and it's a freezer meal. And I need breakfast sausage for the meal I have chosen to meal prep for the freezer. So I guess I'm going to have to go to Walmart to find it, because I can't seem to find it anywhere else. I do hope that they still have it. I find it hard sometimes, and this is probably me just like complaining, but when you are so used to good quality meat and pasture raised, humanly raised and all of that, like in the same path as that. And then you go to the store and you buy the store quality meat. I find it tastes different, and I'm like always disappointed. Like I'm so used to having like good quality pork, good quality beef, and I find myself like not buying meat almost like I think 95% no sorry maybe 90% because I do buy fish, frozen fish. So 90% of my meat is either raised and harvested here, or we find someone to raise a pork. And same thing, we found now a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend that raises beef. So now we have like good quality meat. And when I go to lower quality meat, I see the difference. So sausage is like there's like only two brands that, or two, three brands that we buy, and I can't seem to find them ever anywhere. They're like harder to find. So I have to go to multiple stores. And when I do find them, I kind of stock up, and like I always cross my fingers that they're always going to be available because I really enjoy eating that as a treat. Nope, does not ring a bell. Well, looks like a stew. It's not. If you're talking about what I describe, it's not. It's not a stew. It's like grilled. Yes, gravy for hot chicken. The dinner got chicken is 2 slices plates and chicken and gravy with whatever veg. Here in Quebec, it's green peas. We like warm up a can of green peas and we eat that. Hello, Dave. Watching football. You're in the state, or well, here in the States, or well, I'm some areas, a hot chicken sandwich is called shit on shingle or SOS. That's an interesting way of putting it. I find that hot chicken sandwich is like interesting from your taste buds. But shit on a shingle? I don't know. I don't know. If I was reading that in a menu, I probably would have to wrap my head around that and ask questions before ordering it. Local hockey game on a live stream on a second screen. Ooh, multitasking. Multitasking. I don't know what that means. Multitasking? Okay, so I'm behind on comments. Oh, God, I hate it when my brain does that. You don't know what that means. I did mention starting multiple projects. Maybe it's going to come back to me. The French thing my hubby says, des saucisses puis des carottes. Okay, so des saucisses is sausages and carrots. P is a slang for N. We have like so many slang in French. Yes, poutine. Who doesn't? Well, no, I can't say that, but yeah, I can. Who does not like poutine? Poutine, come on. It's okay. So I remember going to a restaurant and they instead of having like the name poutine, they had like one was like a heart attack with sauce, and the other one was like so like a poutine is sauce, cheese, and fries. So there was like 3 words to describe the meal of the poutine. So crise de coeur, so heart attack with something else and something else. So like you had to read the description to figure out what it was. I can't remember where that was. Anyways, it was here in Quebec. And hot chicken Patrick. Yes. I would love to build meat into our homestead. We have purchased pork from our neighbor, but I think he gave us... Oh, that sucks. So we are losing, unless like there's a miracle going on. The person that was raising our pork sadly says that he will no longer. So we found a very local place here that does have pork. So the thing is we're paying his price. So he's raising the pork, feeding the pork, bringing like multiple pork. So I think this year he had 13 clients. Some of them taking a quarter, some of them taking half. I was taking a full pork, and I was picking it up about 2.5 hours away from my house, very near one of my friend's place. So I was used to I used to visit my friend. We go there very early, and then I take an appointment early in the afternoon, and we eat with my friend and eat from my homemade, and then we come back home. 2.5 hour drive. We try to pick a day that's not too warm because like we don't want everything to thaw out. But if we find someone that raises a pork commercially, because this one, the friend of mine was not doing it like commercial wise. He does own a business, but it's not like raise on a commercial size farm. So I think if we order from the next village that we found, the prices will probably change. I've met someone through, what do you call it? Christmas market. She's also in a 2 village further than me. She does say that she raises pork, and she does say she raises beef on pasture. So might ask her. I know she raises some for her family and friends, but if she has space for one more, I could ask her and see what she says. But like we need to find within the next couple of months someone that raises pork so that we can have pork, or we're going to have to make the pork that we had last 2 years or 18 months, like stretch it and find a source of just like mainly what we would need. Probably with the cuts that we have, we would survive maybe 18 months, but I would need to find good quality hamburger meat pork. Wait, I think I have a flashback of what you said, Karen. When you said that, I don't know what you mean. Do you mean the quality of meat? Is that what you meant? Yep, ate SOS all the time growing up. Worked good with turkey. Yes, when I do have leftover turkey, I have a tendency also to do that like right after Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving. We always have turkey there. I think sometimes during Easter, my mom kind of goes from ham and turkey. Mainly lately she's been favoring ham. So like when we have like those big meals of turkey, I always bring back a couple of bags of turkey with me, and I always do turkey hot chicken. Yes, Tracy is obsessed by poutine. I'm surprised he doesn't make his own every day. It was the freezer burn. I have to trim it before I cook it. Oh, that sucks. Oh, num, 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 num. Okay. So, this week, so I only talked about my weekend. I was like humongously busy. If you didn't catch it, I did do a canning video, and for those that did not watch it, I did add a microphone to that video, and I was asking within the first minute how the audio was. I am told by a couple that the audio is better. So I have 2 microphones. I'm going to go switch back and forth for the next couple of videos to see which one is clearer for you guys. And what else? So I did that. It was a pressure canning video. I've been studying like crazy because I have like one more treatment to do, and I can pass my aroma Reiki exam and be certified by maybe the beginning of February, and I had appointments like almost all week. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. And we did have an ice storm when the kids were home full time with me Thursday, I think. So I did not see the week go by at all. And to continue the tradition of every live in the month of January, I normally tell you guys what I'm taking out of my canning supplies in giving you what we're planning to do over the week. So over the weekend, I've cooked a lot, canned a lot, found a couple of things in the freezer, and I've been nonstop making humongous meals. So this week, I will not be touching that much my canning jars because I have leftovers in the fridge for the entire week. So I will just have to reheat stuff. So we're going to have, to get organized, I've written down everything that was in the fridge, and I am going through what is the oldest so that we need to pass it first. So like, there's going to be pizza and salad because we've made pizza on Friday and I want to get that leftover eaten first. So tomorrow is probably going to be pizza and salad. I don't have Caesar dressing, so I'm going to come up with a dressing, probably like balsamic or I love creamy balsamic vinaigrette, branch vinaigrette, or what's the other one? There's another one my husband like. Balsamic. Oh, Greek. There's a Greek vinaigrette that I also do. So we're going to have that. I did cook 3 full chickens and I kept 4 cups to do hot chickens and I kept 4 cups to do sandwiches for the lunch. And I know my children really, really enjoy, 2 of them really enjoy those tortilla wraps with, it's like chicken that you shred with mayonnaise, salt, pepper, celery, parsley, and you spread it either on a piece of bread, make a sandwich out of it, or tortilla wrap. And okay, so I did say that. So tonight we had rosé pasta. So we're gonna have, there's like there's enough for like I mixed my pasta. I gave the wrong package to my husband when he was helping me out with dinner. I gave him like a double, I think I gave him a pound or pound and a half of spaghetti. Anyways, I have spaghetti left over for at least 2-3 meals. So I don't know if on Friday of this week we'll have our classic pizza night. And on Saturday, I had a crock pot with pork and a lot of root vegetables. So I also have that as leftovers. I do have to eat during the lunchtime during the week. So I'm probably like gonna pick and choose all of that. And if by some miracle there's one in there that gets finished before Friday, we will have our pizza meal on Friday. So that leaves me with Saturday and Sunday. But because I have so much food of leftovers, I only kept one meal planned for the weekend because like I really want to make sure that none of this goes to waste because food is expensive. I sent a video to my husband when I was at the cash register on Friday and I asked him, how much do you think this is? And he tells me a number. I'm like, not quite. And I came back home and I was like, it's ridiculous. It's getting somewhat beyond ridiculous. So I really want to focus to eat with intentions this week and like eat all the leftovers and transform leftovers into new meals. The only meal I have planned for the weekend is something I've been looking forward to is we have ham in our freezer from our pork. And I remember in my late 20s, early 20s, around there was a lady that used to go to Costco and buy the triangle buns that came like in huge bags. So she would put them in the oven, grill them slightly. She had mustard, honey garlic mustard, honey Dijon, something honey Dijon. She would put that on there. She would warm up some homemade ham, and she would add pickled asparagus and a slice of Swiss cheese. She would grill it like slightly in the oven and then serve that. Obviously, she was serving it with chips, but I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to cut down on chips. But I have some pickled asparagus, and the other day I was like, that sandwich like really sounds interesting. And I now have a ciabatta recipe that is not sourdough. I have tried sourdough. I think I overcooked it. So I have a fail-safe of ciabatta. So I was thinking of doing trying to do a triangle ciabatta and to make those sandwiches either Saturday or Sunday. So that's my week of meals. So I probably will not be opening that many jars. Other than I like cold salads. So beet salad. I do beets, corn, green beans, lettuce green, alfalfa sprouts. I might open a couple, but I think it's ciabatta. It's at Costco. It's a triangle bun. They sell like a humongous package. But I do have like a ciabatta. Ciabatta usually is either like in a baguette, very long, or you can do them like in mini miche. But I don't know. Triangle, I don't know how I would do that. Like, because ciabatta is kind of a runny, wet dough. But we'll see. Might be on a rectangle ciabatta. We all make one and present it. Poutine. I'll make a poutine. Homegrown potatoes. Homegrown. Well, I do my brown sauce with chicken broth. You're supposed to do that with beef. But it would be fun. Yes. I'm trying to think. It's been a while. It's been a couple of moons in my early 20s. It was I think I was like 24, 23 when that lady presented me with that sandwich. I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, I've been wanting to do this sandwich for almost 2 weeks now, because I took out the pickled asparagus out of the pantry, and I really want it. So I don't remember, but ciabatta could be with Polish dough. No, I'm doing it with, I think it's bread flour. But I did send Fred to go pick up my bread flour at the mill nearby. So the guy gave him a course about flour and bread and all of that. And he started asking questions. What does your wife do? Sourdough, baking, blah, blah, blah. And I now have a new type of flour, bread flour, which is T65, I think. And I'm having a hard time. It's an adjustment period. So if my ciabatta is done with bread flour, I might have a rougher time, because I'm so used to one type of, it's called artisan flour for my bread flour. But I find it so cute that he listened to the guy religiously, and he brought back like literature for me and a recipe to try, a baguette recipe, and like tips and tricks that the guy told him with this new flour. And every time I try it, like I'm having a hard time adjusting, because it's been like so many years that I use one type of bread flour. But I'm going to figure it out like I always do, because I did take out my sourdough hope starter, and I've been doing, because I have like so much on my plate, I've been doing sourdough with what do you call it? Store bought yeast. So I still do. So I cut the time in almost half, and there's days I actually let it rise overnight in the fridge, so it does ferment, and then I bake it in the morning. So until my sourdough starter gets really, really active and bubbly, it's probably going to be in the spring, because the house is like around 18, 19 degrees Celsius. And from what I'm seeing, I'm not able to maintain the house over 23. It's like ridiculously hot, 23. So my sourdough does not enjoy the 18. So I'm having a hard time getting it to rise double. It usually rises about 1.25, like 1.25, 1.5, never double in size. So I kind of give it a kick until it gets like a little bit more active. But at least I do get the benefit of the sourdough. And I do mini miche that are about this big. So I eat 1 or 2 slices in the morning. And then when my children come back from school, they snack on it. And I do variations. So I did a cinnamon bread, I did a regular bread, some I use olive oil, and it's kind of an intuition bread. I just like mix a certain amount of I don't measure it. Usually Marilyn's gonna have fun with me. So I'm like a person that follows a recipe and like like it has to be like on the dot, the same thing as the recipe. And that little miche that I do with this big, I measure about the same amount of sourdough, a bit less than water, mix all of that, add salt, a tiny bit of sugar, and I mix all of that. And then I add flour until like my dough kind of gets like a ball. And then I leave that on the counter. I wash all my tools, and then I knead it, add more flour. I'm not sure I said salt, but I do add salt. And like I just knead it until like it forms a ball. And it's hard. It's hard. And then I got a special request to make a video about it, because like it was like so pretty, and it was small, it was cute, and like it's kind of a cute and cuddly loaf. And I had a special request on my Instagram account to make a full video about it. And I was like, I'm not sure, because like it's kind of like an intuition thing, and they're gonna ask for like me, they're gonna ask like specific amount of everything, but I can't do that because I was like eyeballing it. Okay, you have sourdough will need more time. Wait, your sourdough will need more time. Have you tried? Okay, so heating a house, I don't know, in Ontario, probably it is a bit more expensive, but heating a house here is like super tremendously expensive. The owner prior to us converted the house to electrical and gas. We no longer have a wood burning stove. We have a chimney that goes downstairs, and she probably destroyed the chimney upstairs. The house was mainly heated that way. But when she flipped the house, she removed that. Probably because the chimney needed to be replaced, and it's so super expensive. So we somewhat heat 60% electrical, 40% gas. So since like I'm trying to save money, I maintain the house at 18. The top of the fridge is maybe 20 tops. But sad story, last year my sourdough starter was like booming, and I decided to dehydrate, I think, 5 portion of it. I donated some, one to Lynn, one to Angie, and I can't remember who was the third, and I think I still have 1 or 2 left. And I was having such a hard time. It took me about a month I was feeding my sourdough morning, night, discard. I had so much discard in my fridge. It was beyond ridiculous. Like I was baking discard recipes like so much, and like I didn't know what to do. And then someone mentioned to put it on a heat pad. I did that. It rised a little bit, was not doing it, and I left it in my oven overnight and let the light open. But I kind of forgot that I baked that night, so I baked my sourdough. So I am trying to be patient. And at the moment, that's what my sourdough can give me and provide for me. And I'm trying not to be too hard on myself. So my sourdough needs a little bit of help. I will give him a little bit of help. And this summer, my house is going to be at 30. And my sourdough starter is going to enjoy it. And I'll be able just to do regular loaves. And actually, I don't know in which live I said this. I think it was on the podcast we filmed last week. So nature will provide what you need or whatever you want to put instead of nature. So I need to learn how to master sourdough, and I have the opportunity to master it with somewhat some difficulties. So when my house is going to be at perfect temperature, I'm going to have that part of the way will already be done. Like I'll know how to stretch and fold the overnight. I will have figured out my rise schedule during the colder months, and then new challenges will arise in the spring, and in the summer sourdough goes in the fridge for June, July, August, and at least September because I don't have time. But since I have mastered that little loaf, or almost, because now I have the new flour, baking little loaves is not all that time consuming. And like, I don't need to be perfect because I'm not receiving anyone royalty or influencers or like divine people in my house. It's just for me, and I try to make it cute and cuddly for myself, and it doesn't take me that much time. So I kind of find it it's benefit for me. Thank you. Well, have a wonderful time, and we'll chat probably on Tuesday night or probably tomorrow. Take care. You're probably gone. We only have propane gas furnace. It's cost. Yeah. I don't only have propane. So I do have electrical. So we try to go back and forth, but it is expensive. Yeah, I do that. I do that often. It's just I had so much discard. I was baking. And at one point I started having problems because we were not eating fast enough. And I was adding more and more. Okay, so Marilyn, no. Okay, so baking with flour, there is science. There's always science. There's a certain amount of sugar for a certain amount of eggs, for a certain amount of that, blah, blah, blah. So there is a lot of that. There's just science side on baking. But I've learned when I did the not overthinking ciabatta recipe, not ciabatta, bruschetta, I kind of discovered something that freed me. It's okay sometimes to try something without following a recipe. And yes, you will sometimes have failures. And sometimes you'll find something beyond incredible. So that first bruschetta I did, I have a hard time recreating it. So when I have, there was organic Roma type tomatoes at my grocery store this week, and I was super, super tempted to buy them and make bruschetta because I miss it. But then I remember I don't have my crackers, and I didn't have time to make crackers knowing what I had home. So it's okay. It's okay. Well, yes, you're right, Madeline. For baking, yes, it has to be real recipes, but sometimes you can improvise a little bit. For baking, it's a real recipe, and you have different results depending on what you cook. Cooking is different. Yeah. So I did a vinaigrette this week, inspired by one of the workshops I'm doing. And the lady was mixing a vinaigrette with cumin, turmeric, garlic powder, onion powder, olive oil, and something else. I can't remember. And I was like, that does not go. Like in my mind, she was adding other ingredients. I think there was like lemon juice. I think there was also ginger. Anyways, so she was saying all these things, and I didn't have a pen with me, and I tried it. I tried the vinaigrette, and I was just like eyeballing it. Turmeric is a very potent ingredient, so I went like slightly cumin, same thing. So it turned out not bad. Okay, so it's not something I will eat all the time, like my bruschetta. I think if I could, I would eat a bruschetta every single day with like homemade crackers. Okay, so I have to come back on earth now. I really enjoy that one. But I am the same. I am a person that literally follows the recipe religiously. And then I have another bad tendency is that knowing I follow the recipe from beginning to end religiously, and then I fail. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Like I followed every single steps. I read it probably like 5 times to make sure. And like it just doesn't taste good, or the bread doesn't rise, or there's a problem. And then I love this when I take recipes from a blog post, they keep reminding us that our ovens are different. Our environment is different. Our sea level is different. We're different. So in different ingredients. So when the person created that recipe, he's maybe taking a certain brand of flour. Maybe he's using a bread flour, and we're using all-purpose flour. So there are variants that will make even if you're following the recipe religiously, that you will not get the final results you expected. I know what you mean, but my boyfriend announced me tonight that we ran out of basil pesto. Oh no! Okay, so I did something Friday. So at I don't normally go to this grocery store, but they had this basil plant, and it was like beautiful, humongous. There was like so many basil plants on it. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to do 10 clippings on that. And I'm going to propagate basil and create like from one pot, 2-3 other pots. And I want fresh basil. I started doing something. So I kind of eat basil as a green. So I put all my lettuce, my cucumbers, my peppers, whatever raw vegetables I want to eat. And then I add basil leaves. It's like so delicious. But I know how you feel. Like I didn't do basil pesto this year. Not sure. I did 2 jars. I'm out. I'm already out. I think the recipe for my bread have honey in the ingredients. Now here in the description, it says when you put it, just never add it. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going, and I kind of sidetrack. Okay, so blog posts, this is something I like. So they kind of give you substitutes. Like, so if you're doing sugar, the recipe calls for sugar, and then in the notes it says, okay, so if you're going with maple syrup, divide it in, I can't remember what they used to say. If you're using honey, divide it in this portion. If you're using, there are sweeteners, monk fruit, something, forgot the name, or stevia. So the blogger gives you alternatives. So obviously, if you're not using that recipe specifically, the end results will slightly differ because you're using another type of sugar. So if you're using sugar, if you're using a wet ingredients like maple syrup or honey, or some people use molasses, or don't use the sugar at all, like you're going to change up the final results, but I'm sure it's going to taste somewhat the same. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to do that more, like bake and cook with my intuition. Sometimes I do something great. Sometimes it's not all that great. So over the week, I've been doing workshops for like learning like new ways to eat. And the like same lady that said the dressing with the turmeric and all of that, like she was sharing smoothies. In one of her smoothies, she says, don't be afraid to add cauliflower to it. So there's like multiple fruits in it. And then she says, if you have frozen cauliflower, try it, put it in. And I was like, looking at the screen, I was like, so you're putting cauliflower in a fruit smoothie. So I was like, interesting. So like, I try not to be too firm and somewhat explore food-wise. Oh, sorry. Oh, now I just remembered. I did have another request. So you guys want to know how I prepare for my garden. I'm not done yet. Thursday of this week, I was supposed to take out all of my seeds. I'm almost 3/4 of the way done. So Thursday, I was supposed to take out everything. I still have herbs to figure out, which herbs I want to grow, which herbs needs to be stratified. And then the tomato varieties that I want to grow, the pepper, the eggplant is done. So peppers, tomatoes, and my fall garden. I need to figure that out. Or do I want to wait later to do that, or eyeball it like Marie-Hélène does? Should I eyeball my my fall garden, Marie-Hélène? Like just take a 50 plug tray and just like sow whatever cabbage, whatever cauliflower, and just wing it. I know that's what you do. That part I kind of have a tendency to not do it because like I don't have that much space. So if I had an acre or 2 acres and I would have like a tractor, access to manure, opening a new garden would not like be that complex. But I don't have access to that. And I'm starting to add more and more perennials. So last year, in the fall, I removed 2 beds. And one of the rows, I need to order, I kind of forgot that now I said that. So I need to order, I think it's 3 or 4 Hascaps. And I need to order, same thing, 3 or 4 champagne, no, it's 2 white and 2 champagne currants. Because I tasted those last year and they were like super delicious. I think the white one that you sent my way, Marie-Hélène, I think it might not overwinter. So what I did is I planted half of the plants that were donated, I bought, sowed from seed. And I did not have all the time to plant everything or decide where everything goes. So half of it is planted, watered, probably will survive. And then the other half, I buried the pots. So I have 12 feet deep soil, and I just buried the 3 gallon or 1 gallon bucket I had till the neck of the pot, hoping that most of them will survive. But I don't remember if your white one survived. I know one of your milk crate, when I took it out, it did not survive. And because of the water damage, I cannot read if it was black, white, or red. I want to try chia breakfast. I'm hesitant with chia seed. I'm very hesitant because I don't like the gel. Like I see people doing overnight oats. I tried that. My daughter somewhat enjoys it. And I see there's like kind of this gel that forms. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not there yet. So I'm trying hemp seeds, flax seeds. There's another one also I'm trying. Um, well, obviously pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. There's another one I bought, like a mix. So it's hemp seed, flax seeds, and something else. Anyways, so I bought that, and I actually add that on my yogurt in the morning. Yeah, I was supposed to start all my sweet potatoes on January 26th. I did that, and I was supposed to stratify certain things, but I never got to that. So I need to, before I can do a video to show you how I prepared for my garden, I need to, flax, I eat it right away for the crunchiness. Um, I don't let it in the fridge too with my overnight oats. I just, like, yesterday I made a smoothie bowl, and on top I added flax seeds, all those mixed super seeds, and then I added walnuts, a frozen banana, and then when I mixed everything, I was eating like a smoothie bowl, but it was like crunchy. So I'm discovering certain type of food that I did not know. I was never really taught in their health benefits and all of that. And some of them I'm like, like chia seeds. Like, she keeps talking about it, and I'm like, no, not yet. I'm not there yet, just yet. But the flax seeds I love. She either suggests to ground them and put them in the fridge when you're done using them, or for the crunchiness, just to add it as a topping. So I need to figure out if I want to plant my fall garden, or if I want to do a fall garden. I have to figure that part out. So yeah, so last year we built our food forest garden, and I kind of feel that last year everything happened at the same time. I was pushing so much. Well, I've been pushing a lot. Like, I had this expectation and this, like, expectation / obsession to have, like, it needed to be that. Like, I needed this. I wanted this. Like, it had to happen. And I was hit with so many roadblocks. I should have got the message loud and clear, like, at the beginning of the summer, not to go down that path. But I kept pushing. And then I got caught at the end of the season, like the expression says, with my pants down. And I had to come up with a solution. And I might have to dig up some of the trees or bushes that I planted, because they're not where they're supposed to be. So that's going to be a problem that I have to figure out. And I did forget to sow my fireweed. So if there is a meetup and someone is at the meetup and has fireweed, please bring me some. I really want fireweed. I want to try that jelly that tastes like Jolly Rancher. Like, I really want to. Or what I'll end up doing is just buying dehydrated flowers and do a tea and then do a jelly. I have broom corn seed that I bought from last season. Sorghum, I want to grow it for the rabbits and the craft material. Cool. I can't do the chia seed. I use ground flax meal all the time. It's great thickener. Yeah, that's what she said. So if you want to do a smoothie bowl, instead of thickening it with a lot of yogurt, you can ground flax seeds and use frozen banana, and, like, leave your food processor run on low and let it get thick and all. And I tried that, and it's really nice. It's great if your sauce or chili is too runny. Really? Okay. I can't help you. I don't do fall garden. My summer. Yeah, well, you are in zone 3. My memory is correct. I know Boreal living She used to be Boreal homesteading. Now she's Boreal living. Danielle is zone 2. So I think you're zone 3. Yeah. Okay. So zone 3 is like everything at the same time. You have cabbage coming out, you have broccoli coming out, you have tomatoes coming, like everything's coming out of your ears all at the same time. So, yeah. So I think I'm going to wing, like I know that I want carrots, I know that I want greens, I know that I want certain things. So I think what I'll do is I'll print out a calendar that, because what I do is I take out my calendar, I take out my dates, and I take out all the varieties that I want to grow. That's the plan. So technically I put everything in a box and I don't touch my other seeds. So I'm not tempted, but I always go back, because I have a big seed collection and I can't keep myself not looking. But anyway, so I keep deciding on certain things, and then like I try to be as firm as possible to go with that plan and not derail too much. But then people can't, is it Annie? Yeah, Annie sent me 3 tomatoes that she's buying this year. She's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I somewhat chose my varieties. She's like, I'm going to buy these. They're so pretty. And I'm like, stop it. I don't want to buy seeds this year of tomatoes. I have so many tomato seeds that I want to pass. And then what else did she buy? I think she bought peppers, and she showed me a picture of pepper, and I'm like, stop it. I don't want to buy. I only want to buy the seeds that I need, or if I can rotate my inventory. So that means like cucumbers. I'm trying to use up all of my cucumbers. And I still ordered from M.I. Gardner last year when they were 50% sale. The muncher is something I have every year. A certain type of pickling cucumber, and then the rest I'm trying to get rid of the older seeds that are 2017, 2018, 2019. They're pretty old. They're no longer good. Their germination rate is just lower. So instead of being 75, 80%, 90%, 100%, they're maybe 40%, 20%, 25%. So instead of sowing 1, I sow 3 when I have those older seeds. But so I take out every container, I figure out what day I want to plant them, and I put them in a shoebox. And then knowing in March, example, I look at my calendar in March and I know that there's a sowing date on this date, and then all these seeds need to be sown. I can just print out that calendar in the fall, knowing that on June 1st, I need to sow my zucchini for my second sowing, my beans for my second sowing, if I want to sow beans, because I might not be planting beans other than for fresh eating even then, because I have so many jars of beans. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to be pickling them probably this year, because I did a pickling recipe that is chipotle peppers, slightly spicy. It's so good in sandwiches, really good. So if I don't grow as much beans, I might introduce something else. Instead of doing a second sowing like I did last year, might skip that, do greens and all of that. So I think that's what I'll do. I'm kind of give probably a period of grace, because I'm late. Usually by the first week, second week of January, I'm done. And this week we are February, and tomorrow's a pet day. Tuesday, I still have to go to another dentist appointment with my daughter. And she's going to need procedures in her mouth. We need to figure out what they're proposing, options and all that. So my skull is probably going to crack with all that information. So I know that I'm late. And in 2 weeks, I'm starting onions. And my grow room is not ready. So I think I'll do that. I did a hair gel with flaxseed once. Really? I do it normally with beeswax. You are inspiring me to dig into my seeds now. I can't start anything for several weeks. Well, for us in February, we start onions. Stratification is actually now for certain. I think lavender is soon. Here's a question for you. Can filtered and UV treated water affect germination rates? That is a excellent question that I don't have the answer to. So, city water, That's filtered UV. If I go with my logistic part of my brain, I would say no. But Google it, just to be sure. Okay, so germination. Here's the thing. So when you receive your pack of seeds, I don't have a pack of seeds with me right now. In the back, there is usually a batch number and the germination. Of all the company that I order from, usually have the germination rate in the back. If your seeds are old, you're lower germination. If your seeds are new and you're having a hard time germination, example, if you store your seeds in a cool, dark place, that's ideal. If you store your seeds in a warm, sunny place, you're going to lose germination. If you have older seeds, you're going to lose germination. If you have older seeds that are exposed to the sun and not in an ideal climate, so I'm sure you get the point. The last thing I would suggest is there is some that requires heat to germinate, and some require darkness. Some require a lot of moisture. So I only use domes on certain types of crop. So I'm trying to think right now. So I use on my onions, I use domes and I use heat pads. On my tomatoes, I heat. Eggplant, I heat. Peppers, I heat. And I use the domes. As soon as I see sign of germination, I remove the domes because I don't want to create an environment of bacteria like too moist. I have a fan going on to circulate the air. Trying to think. So peppers, there is a trick with Scott towel. Overwatering will also prevent germination. Like you're gonna rot the seed. There's a trick last year I read. It's a rock that I put on top of my little soil blockers. Perlite. I think it's perlite. No. There is a rock. Perlite. The company closed, so I don't have access to my order from last year. It's not perlite. It's vermiculite. So I add vermiculite on top of my mini soil blockers. Thank you. I was big in my brain. So I put a bit of vermiculite, and I have no longer access to vermiculite. I have no idea where I'm going to order it now because the company I was ordering it closed. So I'm going to have to figure that out. So on my little soil blockers, I would add vermiculite, and vermiculite holds water better for a better germination. I think those are all the tricks that I have. They were all new seeds in a dark, cool storage. On a heat mat or in the garden, I am talking about 6 to 8 different varieties of seed. Okay, so I did have that with, I'm not going to name the company because I don't want to bring anyone down. So I ordered some, I think it was an Asian cabbage. I had 0% germination. On a tomato, I had 0% germination. And on it's kind of like an Asian cabbage that looks like a spinach. I'm trying to remember the name. Or mustard green. I can't remember the name. So I had like a couple of packs of seed that I had 0 germination. So it could happen. It could be literally the seed. They were all new seeds. Of seeds they didn't even sprout. I planted some from Amazon. I try for perlite, vermiculite to buy it local. as much as I can to make sure that the person selling it to me does not include crap in it, because you're adding the perlite or the vermiculite or any type of soil that you're adding it to your soil. So if you're putting in something in your little seedlings that's not good, you're bringing it into your garden after. So I always try to be very cautious where I buy my stuff. But I did find a wholesaler that I buy in bulk for certain things. So I'm going to look at it. So they sell for les pépinières, how I say that. So garden centers. So I'm going to ask if they have vermiculite and get a quote, hoping it's not like 100 pounds, because I will not need 100 pounds. But I did read that you can add vermiculite to your soil of your potatoes. Can't remember why. There was a I think it was a TikTok or a reel. The person had two beds, one with vermiculite and the other one same soil, just added vermiculite, and the other one was same soil without vermiculite, and he had a better overall success. Can't remember if there was variations, if he did something else, but I find it interesting what was the vermiculite had to do with all of that. There is also this. Fox actually has a very good point. There are certain seeds I do not cover. I just leave all my little soil blockers and make sure that it's moist enough. They like loose soil because they're so small. I did try something last year. I don't know if Marilyn is still here. I tried pre-germinating my carrot seeds in mini soil blockers. So I will be talking more about mini soil blockers and my soil blockers in the spring. Don't worry. It's my third year starting that, and I'm starting to convert to exclusively using soil blockers because I want to get rid. I have 2-inch pots. I want to get rid of that. So I'm probably going to donate it. I did find a lady that has sales for her school. She uses 2-inch pots to sell lavender plants, mint plant, and all that. And I think I'm just going to call her and ask her if she wants it. I want to get rid of all of that. I have some 3.5 inches. And then I had people bringing me 4 inches round pots. I have all these items all over my place. I want to have my soil blockers, my 3.5 inches, and my 50 plug trays and my 72 plug trays. That's all I want. I would just want to keep that because it's a lot. If ever we move, I told my husband the logistics of all of that, just my garden stuff, it's going to take me a truck, a pickup truck. So I germinated pellet seeds on mini soil blockers. So that's 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. I did not cover it. And then I was very adventurous and I took one little seedling, sometimes two, in those soil blockers, and they germinated perfectly. It was perfect. And then I was 3 weeks behind or 3-4 weeks behind on schedule. So I just planted them regardless, and they're there. They're still there. When I looked at the end of the season, I had mini carrots. So I could have the possibility of them. We had a somewhat cooler temperature in November, December, and now January. The temperatures go from -10 Celsius, 20 Celsius, then to 0. Yesterday it was 2 degrees Celsius here. So I could have small carrots in the spring. I'm not I'm not getting my hopes up at all. It was an experience, but it did work. So I don't know if I'm planting spring carrots, but I know if I'm planting fall carrots, that's how I'm going to do it. Because I really, really loved it. I took a stick. I did a trench with my finger or a stick, whatever. Made a trench, 2 trench right next to each other. The only thing I did is I took my little mini soil blocker and just put it, and I was placing it. And he was like, perfect. I did that with turnip. I did that with radishes. I did that with, I was just like pre-germinating. So I left I put just a bit of soil over my radishes and they sprouted. And then when it somewhat holds itself, I just took it and I put it in the soil. I'm going to try a lot of stuff with the mini soil blockers because I have water bans very early. Last year, I had a water ban, I think even before my birthday. That's like not even June. I was not allowed for 2-3 weeks to use water. So if I pre-germinate some of my stuff, bye Tracy. Yes, I saw one of your comments. Don't forget to do the thumbs up. Thank you. Have a nice night. So knowing that germination for those little seedlings, those seeds, they need water and sun. And I think I can put 240 little blocks per 10 by 20 tray. So I just put, I'm going to ask my husband to put like a table outside, and I'm just going to put the trays there because they're going to germinate there. Like the carrot's going to germinate there. I'm going to put the domes over it so that my lovely cat's neighbor doesn't like knock it over. But I'm just going to put it there. That's like my mind. Like one of the things I want to try this year. Like I'm going to plant some direct, and I'm also going to try with my mini soil blockers. I really, really enjoy sprouting seeds. And I want to push that theory because I remember last year you sent me a video from a lady that leaves her seedlings in those 3/4 soil blockers. And she fertilizes them, I think, once or twice a week. And she leaves them in there. And I was like, how in that she was doing that. So I am curious about pushing the limits of my little soil blockers without losing my mind, that's for sure. If you're not allowed to use water at certain times, would not be a good idea to start. I'm trying. So last year, I watered my greenhouse with snow. So my tunnel is covered, was covered in the spring and is exposed to different temperatures, and my soil was like dried out. So what I do is, now we fixed our wheelbarrow. I either fill wheelbarrows or 20 liters or 5-gallon buckets, and I dump it in my tunnel. And I melt all the snow around the tunnel with that. So when I transplant and use that soil, it's somewhat wet. I still have to heavily water it because it's so dry. But my garden beds are open right now. So my raised bed garden is where my husband throws his snow. So he plows the backyard. He plows a row to the chicken coop, and he throws the snow on my garden beds. And in the spring, I can see that the pathways where the snow is melts after the garden beds, because like, I'm not entirely sure why, but the garden beds, you can see the soil. In the pathways, there's still snow. Probably because like there's compost, and I use the hugelkultur method, and the compost is heating up and the snow melts faster. My in-ground garden is on like heavy clay soil. So it takes a while for the dirt to dry up. But every year for the last at least 3-4 years, by the time I plant my summer garden, so my summer garden is almost, in theory, all planted by the 15th of June. Ish. So between the 1st and the 15th of June, all my summer garden is planted. So that means my tomatoes, my peppers, my eggplants, my basil, all the heat-loving plants are planted around more towards the beginning of June. And we already have like 25, 30s, 35 in those weeks. So we have heat warnings. This year we had heat warnings. Just give me a sec. My husband's just writing something to me. Yeah. It will take a ton of snow. I need to go, need to start. No worries. I'm actually leaving very soon. I'm just probably going to finish with this. So I feel like we're in a microclimate. And so the first weeks of May, everything goes like boiling during the day and then cools down during the night. And we have risk of frost, very low temperatures dipping towards the mid of May. And then every year we have like records of like 30 in May, and then it somewhat regulates in June. But when that happens, they ban water right away. So this year, we left in place my water collection device. So we have like this big 1,000 liters next to the house. Normally, we put it like all the way back of the property. So for us to go pick it up without sinking with the tractor, we need to wait that the soil is somewhat dry, or we need to pull it by hand. It's not that heavy. We could do it, but like we sink, like we're on clay. So it's mud season like till June-ish. So my husband decided to leave it where it was. We just disconnected it, opened the hatch, and in the spring, as soon as everything thaws out, we're going to put the plug it back to our water collection device, and I'm going to have water as soon as it rains. Because last year, if my water collecting device was installed, beginning of May, it was raining, and I probably would have been able to collect at least half of my 1,000 liters, because we had a couple of rain clouds and all of that in the beginning of May. But then when that 3 weeks hit of like super hot temperatures, my device was not installed. So if I would have been prepared. But what I did not panic. I collected all my pasta water, my potato water. When you drink, I have a water machine. When the kids would have leftover water from their water bottle, instead of like wasting it, I either give it to my animals, or, when it's like warm. So we spent a day outside at a picnic and the water's warm. We can either use it to water the plants, put it in the fridge for next day, or give it to my dog, or give it to the chickens, or water my plants. So we collected every single water. My dish water, if it like I was just washing like cups, or nothing like too dirty, because I don't want to attract critters. I don't have that much critters. I don't want to put food in. I just collected 5-gallon buckets of water and put it on the balcony, and then another 5-gallon, put it on the balcony. So I was collecting water like that, and I was able to figure out there is one thing I had to sacrifice, and it was carrots. So I made the educated decision to sacrifice my carrots. I had 3 rows of carrots. I just sacrificed it, and I kept the water for my tomato seedlings, because I pictured, like, I made an evaluation. What will happen if I don't have those 3 garden beds of carrots? Worst case scenario, I'm going to go buy second quality 50-pound bags or deer carrots for like $5 and can that. It's going to be a bummer because they don't come from here, but I rather not sacrifice my tomato plants. I rather sacrifice my carrots. So that's what I did. But knowing what I've experienced last year, like right off the bat, I was hit with that. I'm actually happy that we decided to leave the 1,000 liter next to the house. So that way we just have to plug it in. Yes, I can actually empty 1,000 liter in a week if I water my garden beds. So I'm only allowed to water 3 nights a week. So I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. No. Sunday. Anyways, it's 3 nights a week. So I know it's Wednesday and Friday for sure. I can't remember if it's Sunday or Monday. So it's 3 nights a week from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. where all the freaking mosquitoes are out, where I get eaten alive. Anyways, so 3 nights a week I would water. So the city permits me to water my plants that way. If during the day around, so that I don't get eaten alive, like around 5 p.m., when the sun is down, most of the sun is down, or very early in the morning, I ask my husband to plug the 1,000 liter on the generator and on the pump, and I water my garden. I would say if I sacrifice a little bit, I could probably water 3 times my entire garden with the 1,000 liter. But like, I don't spend 30 seconds at each plant. Like, what I do is I'm kind of reserved on the water that I use. So I go between 2 plants and I count to 20 seconds and then I move, because I have to hand water. I'm not allowed to have an automatic waterer in my city unless I have a special permit, and I can't have it. So I hand water with a hose and I just count to 20, and I just make sure to circle around 2 of the plants for 20 seconds, and I move to the other one, move to the other one, move to the other one. So that's what I do for my tomato, pepper, eggplants. And for my greens, I just change this, like the sprinkler mode, to a little bit more intense, and I go back and forth, hoping that it does what it does. So it's at least 2 to 3 waterings with 1,000 liter. But last year, touching wood, I'm hoping it's going to be the same thing. I watered my garden in May, June, and after that was it. I did not water my garden the entire summer. So I went from the one extreme to the other. It was raining and super warm. Raining, super warm, super humid, and bacteria thrive. So I was really happy in July. My plants were booming. They were like amazing. And I should have done quality control, damage control, and realize that the humidity that was going on with all the water was going to do mildew and bacteria and all of that. And then I just lost all my tomato plants because of it. But I know that watering is something that is bugging me and my husband, because it's so annoying that in May I have a water ban. It's like literally ridiculous. But anyways, where I am, I can collect around 1,000 gallon, and I can easily go through 50 gallons a day. Yeah, well, you're down south, right? You like experience like 100 Fahrenheit. Yeah, so water bans are real. And there's actually some states that you're not allowed to collect water. So we want to add, I don't know if it's going to happen this year. We'll see. We might be taking a decision not to raise chickens this year, to work on projects on the homestead. I'm very scared to take that decision. My husband wants to make that decision. Okay, so he's like me. So he's 25% worried because of all the pricing and all the chaos in the world. So 25% he's scared. 75% he's like, we could concentrate our entire summer on projects instead of animals. I'm like, okay, you're right. But we don't have enough chickens to last, like, till the next season. Anyways, so, and I'm like 40% scared to take that decision, but 60% he makes so much sense. So last year we only raised one time 25. Usually we do 25. So one in April and one in July. So if we do not do chickens, we could work on one watering system that I've been dying to have. So I want 1,000 liter or smaller, I don't care, that is gravity fed in a pond. And I need to read what types of rocks you need to add to purify the water, and then have that pond not near not my chickens, my ducks, like super away from my ducks, or if I can make it work near my ducks, and they would probably be more than happy to have a pond, like a little one, and then have that water given to the chickens, so that instead of using, I have to pay per gallon my water. So we are a household of 5. So my city provides me with water for an average family. So it's 2 adults, 2 kids. So we have two adults, 3 kids. We have chickens, blah, 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 the garden, all of that. So every year I have to pay taxes per gallon for the extra water usage that we do. So I would love to have this filtration system on the chicken coop for at least the months that it doesn't freeze. So June, July, August, September, and somewhat November, because we can use the rainwater, filter it in, like, it's obviously going to be like a beta system, like really basic, and then we're going to up it. You remember that thing I said at the early live? If you want to be a homesteader, or like if you want to have 83 ongoing projects that are not complete, become a homesteader. I said that early on, in, I think like the first 10 minutes of the live. So basically being a homesteader is starting a project, not finishing it, because we always know that we could do better, or there's another project that needs more of our attention. So we're going to come back either later or never. So we'll see. It is something that both of us wanted to do. It would add beauty. It would add biodiversity, because it's going to invite certain types of critters that we want, like good, beneficial. I saw for the first time, I don't know the proper name, a toad or frog. It was huge. So I had in my tunnel left a lot of my cabbage seedlings in the tunnel to germinate. And when one of them, babies, made like a little nest in one of the pockets of, I had a 4-inch container also. So they were kind of making their beds in there, or their whatever, what you call it. And then I lift one up, and that thing was huge. It was humongous. It's either a toad or frog, whatever you want to call it. I found like loads of them all over my property. And I was told that if you have those, they're super beneficial. They eat a lot of stuff. But if you want to get them to your property, a water source would be better. So a fountain or a little pond that is filtrated. And I saw them last year for the first time. I did see the small ones, but I never saw the huge ones. I have to admit, I was scared a couple of times. Like, they dig in the soil, and they kind of have soil a little bit on their face. And then when you kind of dig, you kind of see like those eyes pop up, and like, what is that? Kind of scared me a couple of times last year. They were in my tunnel. I think I had like 3 or 4 in the tunnel, and my kids would find them, and I would like relocate them to make sure that they come back in the tunnel or somewhere else, because I did not want to lose that. So I really hope that they come back next year. Although I did put my doe in my tunnel, and she's on the floor right now. She's living her best life right now. She's digging tunnels all over the place in my tunnel. She's creating chaos, but she looks so happy. So if they overwintered in the tunnel, poor things, they're going to have like a rough time with my little doe rabbit. She's having so much fun. Is there a price allowance for filling a swimming pool? So regardless of how you use water here, so if it's to fill your pool, to wash your car, to fill a tub, not a tub, a jacuzzi, whatever you're using water for, we have a certain amount of gallons we are allowed to use per year. And there's actually people that gets water delivered when they fill their pools because it's cheaper. So is the price allowance for filling a swimming pool might be cheaper to fill a good size on them. Yeah, but now that we have a pump, so our pump either pulls or push. So if ever I need water and I am in a crunch, we can put the 1,000 liter on the truck, bring the pump with us, and pump water where it is legal, obviously. We always try. We've never had to, but we're trying to find locations where we're not going to get a slap on our hands or a fine. So we're trying to find legal places that we can go pull water without any consequences. But we haven't gotten there. But the pump that we have does it. So we always have a plan. So as a homesteader, you need a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. So it's our plan, whatever you want to call it, down the road. So extreme water bans doesn't sound fun. So last year, they did the water ban, but they automatically, as soon as the water ban was lifted, they immediately gave us the rules and regulation of 3 nights a week, one side of the road, and then 3 nights of the week, the other side of the road. It's between 8 and 10. And they do mention in their emails too that there will be a fine of $1,000 if you do not respect, if you want, and then they give us suggestions of stuff to not do, like wash your cars for hour, power wash your driveway, blah, 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 and all of that lovely stuff. We have at least 4 species of toad and frogs here. Green toads, green tree frogs, tiddly toads, tiny things, bullfrog toads, and mirror. Okay, I have no idea what they are. All I know is the first time I saw that huge thing, I screamed. I didn't know what it was. It was huge. It was in my plant. The first time I saw it, it was in a pot, in a 4-inch pot. And I saw that there was soil missing in it. So obviously I thought either the cat came and picked it up or the kids played around with it or I knocked it over or whatever. There was soil missing in it. And I pick it up and I remove the seedling and I see this huge thing in my 4-inch pot. It was taking the entire thing. It was like making itself a home. And I kind of felt bad to destroy his home. The second time it was in the soil in the garden beds of the tunnel. That one was bigger. Okay. So let me see. Bullfrog. Let me see. No, it was darker than that. Anyways, I try. So I when I see those, it's like when I see spiders. I kind of have a conversation with them. I'm like, I'm going to tolerate you as long as you don't touch me. As long as I don't see you, we're going to be best friends. So that's what when I see those huge spiders and those huge creepy crawlers that are good for the biodiversity, I always tell them that we're going to be friends, best friends, if I don't see you, if I don't have to put my hands on you. And I somewhat am traumatized from my experience of yellow jacket. I think it's yellow jacket wasps that stung me in my head. I had some in my back of my head, on the side of my head, around the ears, and here. So, kind of traumatized of stuff being in the ground now. The larger toes. Yeah. And we can't find the nest. So my husband tried to dig the nest. He can't find it. So I'm kind of scared to read about it if they come back or not. Because if they do, we have to empty. So one of the big projects we're starting, we're not going to finish it probably this year. So we're rebuilding my raised beds. I love the way that we build them, but the row path is 20 to 24 inches. They're sagging. Some of them are, so we did not like, we build them really fast so that I am able to have food like right away. We were in a time crunch, and I want to build them 42 inches wide from the outside. Is it 42? Anyways, I have that measurement so that I can have at least 3 feet of pathways. So I want to make them 16 feet long from the outside in the same, so that they all the same. Because there are some beds that are 3. Some of my beds are 4. Some of my beds are 15 feet long. Some of them are 15 feet and a half. Some of them are 16 feet. Some of them are 16 feet and a half. So I have some rows that I can plant 26 tomatoes, and some I can't. Some I can plant 2 rows of tomatoes because they're 4 feet wide from the inside, and then some are 42 inches from the inside, which I can't because they end up touching from the middle, and then it creates bacterial wealth and another bacteria that's brown. Forgot the name. Blight, early blight, late blight. So, like, I want to standardize the garden beds, and I really would not want to lose any, but we're trying to level them because right now, instead of being like this, my soil goes like that. So we're trying to level them, put a step at the end, and make it cute and like more functionable for me, because I can't bring in anything. Like, I can't bring in a cart between the rows. There are some that are sagging like this. It's only a matter of time before they break. Some of the wood is rotten. Some of them are like from wood that we reclaimed that is 100 years old. So we have 8 or 9 garden beds like that. So we need to empty them, rebuild them, refill them. So we're thinking to do 3-4 per year and then do the watering system. So that's why we're like going back and forth with the possibilities of not raising chickens this year. Yeah, they are intense, the yellow jacket, from what I'm hearing. They stung me so many times, and I was swollen on my arm, in the back of my head, in the back of my ears, for a very long time. And the wound wouldn't heal. I had a salve that I made. It just wouldn't heal, and it would scratch like hell. It was not a good time if you have to rip apart the bed with a yellow jacket. So we're thinking of doing it in April, early May. So the one where the yellow jacket is we're not going to touch it this year, like, unless there's a miracle and we win the lottery and my husband can work 70 hours a week on the homestead, which is not likely plausible unless we ride a unicorn. We destroyed one bed last year. We emptied it and we used that soil to create my food forest. So the first one we're going to build, we're going to use the one next to it to fill it. So I'm going to take all the old wood that I have around the house. We're going to kill one bird with 2 stones. So we're going to clear out all the old wood that we have on the property, the leaves, the old hay that we have. And we're going to do like a somewhat lasagna hugelkultur style for the first layer. And then I'm going to use the soil of the second bed to put it into the first bed. And whatever is left, I'm going to buy grow bags, because every year I have grow bags that rips, and some of them needs to be replaced. So I'm going to fill half of a 25-gallon grow bag with that soil, and then just complete it with compost and potting soil, like my mixture that I do DIY, and destroy that one, rebuild it the way that we want, and then use the third one to fill the second one. So We did find bumblebees 2 years ago in 2 of our beds. And last year we found that nest. So I'm thinking, because we're putting in the bottom some wood, like old wood, rotten wood, I'm wondering if we're not attracting bumblebees and those soil wasps. Definitely I'm going to choose a cold day, because working, shoveling, building when it's 30 degrees, we've done that. We've been there. We don't want to do that. Like, we harvest our meat in July, in the peak of the winter, and it's in the summer, so it's really warm. Well, guys, I'm gonna finish here because I try to go to bed around 9:30, and it is 9:30. So I am preparing the next week's video. I have a couple of ideas. I did write what you told me tonight: the butler's pantry tour, the downstairs pantry tour, the preparation of the garden, and there is also 2 other things I want to do. So I will chat with you guys later on. Have a nice week and take care. Bye.